The meaning of your birth month will change your entire life. Carl Jung. Imagine for a moment that the month you were born in isn't just a date on the calendar. What if it was a key, a doorway into understanding who you are at the deepest level? At first, this might sound like superstition, something light and unimportant. But for Carl Jung, one of the greatest minds in psychology, the time of your birth carried powerful meaning. To him, it was not random. It was a symbolic moment, rich with energy, and that energy quietly weaves itself into your personality, your emotions, and even the way you move through life. Jung believed that the universe is built on patterns. He called them archetypes, universal images and stories that appear across every culture and every age. The mother, the hero, the wise old man, the trickster. These figures show up in myths, in dreams, in art, and in our daily struggles. They live both inside us and around us, shaping how we think, feel, and act. Jung saw that nature itself reflects these archetypes through its endless cycles. Winter is the stillness of endurance. Spring is the awakening of growth. Summer is fullness, energy, and expression. Autumn is reflection, harvest, and letting go. Each season is a chapter in the great story of the year, and every month is a piece of that chapter. Which means the month you were born into carries its own symbolic tone. When you came into the world, you didn't arrive only in a family or a place. You also arrived in a moment in time. That moment had a mood, a rhythm, a balance of light and dark, warmth and cold, beginnings and endings. Jung believed that this moment leaves a symbolic imprint on you. It does not trap you or dictate your fate, but it does shape a quiet background melody in your life, a tone that influences your habits, your gifts, and your challenges. If you were born in a transitional month, like March or September, you entered during change when winter turns into spring or summer turns into autumn. People born in these months often feel pulled between two worlds. They carry a dual nature, part reflective, part expressive. They are sensitive to shifts, restless yet thoughtful, and they spend much of life seeking balance between opposites. If you were born in a stable month like January, July, or October, you arrived when a season had fully taken hold. These months embody clarity, strength, and firmness. People born then often reflect this same energy. They are steady, resilient, and capable of creating order in their lives and in the lives of others. They build, they endure, and they guide. Think of someone born in March. In many places, this is when snow melts, days lengthen, and spring begins to push against winter's stillness. A person born now carries that same spirit of transition within them. They often live with one foot in two worlds, cautious yet eager, quiet yet restless. Their gift is adaptability, but their struggle is finding lasting stability. Compare that to someone born in January, in the heart of winter. They inherit the energy of endurance. Like trees that hold firm in the cold, January-born people are marked by resilience, discipline, and seriousness. They have the strength to build foundations and the patience to see things through. Then there is the July-born, arriving under the blazing sun of summer. They radiate vitality, warmth, and boldness. Like the sun itself, they are expressive and life-giving, but they must learn to balance their fire so it doesn't burn too intensely. Jung believed that time itself is alive with meaning. It is not neutral. It has a rhythm, a mood, a story. And your birth month places you inside that story. It gives you a symbolic orientation, a psychological map. Not a script that controls your destiny, but a pattern that reveals the energies you carry and the lessons you may be called to learn. Seen this way, your birth month becomes more than a date. It becomes a teacher. It shows you the terrain you were born into, the atmosphere you carry within, and the symbolic story you've been a part of since your first breath. It is not about putting you in a box. It is about opening a door to greater self-awareness, to clarity about your emotions, and to insight about your purpose. So, the next time you think about your birth month, don't see it as a line on a calendar. See it as a story. See the season, the archetype, the energy that welcomed you into the world. Because hidden inside that moment is not just a date to celebrate once a year, but a key to understanding who you are and the deeper patterns of your life. When you think of the month you were born in, you might see it as just a date on a calendar, a small fact about yourself. But Carl Jung believed it was something far deeper. To him, the time of your birth wasn't random. It was like entering the world at a very specific moment in nature's grand cycle, and that moment imprinted you with a certain symbolic energy. The months, like the seasons, carry their own moods, their own archetypes, and their own stories. To understand your birth month is to glimpse the patterns that quietly shape your personality, your emotional tendencies, and even your life's direction. Imagine January. The world outside lies in stillness, the ground frozen, nature withdrawn into itself. To be born here is to carry a piece of that quiet endurance. These souls often appear wise beyond their years, steady and patient, with the inner strength to carry long burdens. They know how to endure, how to survive the winters of life. Yet they must also be careful. Too much heaviness can make them forget joy. Their gift is resilience, but their challenge is learning to let warmth and play melt the ice within. February comes, and though winter remains, something stirs beneath the frozen surface. The light lingers a little longer. Whispers of change begin to move. People born in this month often carry the same quality. They are visionaries. They see what others cannot, imagining futures beyond the ordinary. They are creative, rebellious at times, unwilling to settle for what feels false. They dream of what could be, and many of them carry ideas that can inspire or transform. But their danger is to live too much in the world of ideals, never grounding their visions in reality. Their task is to bring heaven down to earth. Then comes March, a month of thresholds. Winter loosens its grip, spring pushes forward. To be born here is to live between worlds. These people feel deeply, as if they are tuned to the changes in weather, light, and mood. They carry a dual nature, part introspection, part expression. They are sensitive, imaginative, and able to adapt, yet sometimes they are torn between two directions. Their gift is renewal, the ability to shed old skins and begin again, but their challenge is not to drown in the emotional tides that pull at them. April bursts forth with fire. The earth shakes off its sleep, flowers pierce the soil, everything is alive with motion. Those born here carry that spark within. They are bold, energetic, full of initiative, and often natural leaders. They move first, they ignite others, they embody passion and courage. But this fire, if unchecked, can burn too hot. They may grow impatient, impulsive, or too quick to fight. Their growth lies in mastering the flame, using it to create, not destroy, to lead with vision, and not only with force. May arrives with calm abundance. Nature is steady now, full of color and life. Those born here mirror that stability. They are grounded, loyal, lovers of beauty and comfort. They cherish the simple pleasures, a meal, a garden, music, the warmth of friendship. They build and nurture, creating safe spaces for themselves and others. Yet they may resist change, clinging too tightly to what feels secure. Their path is to learn that real stability is not found in holding on, but in trusting life's unfolding. June steps in with curiosity and brightness. The days are long, the air full of movement and possibility. People born in June carry this lively, youthful spirit. They are communicators, explorers of ideas, seekers of connection. They ask questions, they wander, they weave together different worlds. Their energy is quick, adaptable, and playful. But they risk becoming scattered, chasing too many directions without going deep. Their challenge is to learn focus, to bring their wide curiosity into a centered purpose. July glows in the fullness of summer. Life is abundant, the sun is strong, the world seems at its peak. Those born here radiate that same energy. They are expressive, confident, magnetic, often the center of attention. Their warmth draws others in, and their passion fuels their pursuits. They live with intensity, and they give with their whole heart. But the danger of too much fire is pride, excess, or burning out. They must learn humility, balance, and the wisdom of quiet strength. August carries a different kind of power. The harvest begins, the energy of summer matures into discipline. People born here often embody authority, focus, and determination. They have a strong sense of responsibility, and others often look to them for leadership. They value achievement, discipline, and integrity. Yet their shadow is rigidity, a need to control, or a perfectionism that weighs them down. Their growth comes from softening the edges, balancing strength with gentleness, and remembering that true power serves, it doesn't dominate. September shifts into reflection. The air cools, the earth prepares to rest. Those born in this month often carry a quiet intelligence. They are thoughtful, analytical, attentive to detail. They seek harmony, order, and meaning. Their minds are sharp, their hearts sensitive, but they risk falling into criticism of themselves or others. They want life to be perfect, but life is always unfinished. Their growth is in embracing imperfection, in seeing beauty in the cracks and flaws of the world. October is the fullness of autumn. Colors blaze, harvests are shared, communities gather. People born here often embody connection, balance, and charm. They are social, diplomatic, and drawn to relationships. They see both sides of a situation, and they bring people together. Yet this gift can also trap them. They may struggle with indecision or rely too heavily on others to feel whole. Their path is to learn to stand in their own truth, while still honoring the ties that mean so much to them. November enters with mystery. The days grow dark, the leaves fall, and nature begins its descent into stillness. To be born in November is to carry the energy of transformation. These souls are intense, passionate, and unafraid of shadows. They are drawn to depth, to secrets, to the unseen forces of life. Their lives often move through cycles of death and rebirth, endings that become beginnings. They have the power to transform pain into wisdom. But their shadow is possessiveness, secrecy, or the hunger to control. Their challenge is surrender, to let life change them rather than clinging to what must pass. July arrives in warmth, with family gatherings, shared meals, and nights where memory lingers long after the sun goes down. Those who enter the world in this month are touched by that sense of care and closeness. They often carry a gift for protecting and nurturing others, sensing emotions without words, and offering comfort simply by being present. They become the emotional anchors of their families, the ones others turn to when storms arrive. Yet their devotion to others can sometimes cost them their own well-being. They may silence their own needs to keep the peace or pour themselves out until nothing remains. Their journey is to remember that true care includes the self, that their tenderness becomes stronger when it also flows inward. August bursts open with radiant energy, a time when the sun is high and the world feels full of life's power. Those born in this month often carry a natural presence that commands attention. They are leaders not because they demand it, but because something in them inspires others to follow. They walk with the spirit of a king or queen, with a strong sense of identity and the desire to shape the world around them. At their best, they lead with vision and generosity, helping others rise alongside them. But power always carries a shadow. If they lose balance, they may slip into pride, control, or the loneliness of standing apart. Their growth lies in learning that strength is greatest when it is shared, that humility gives their leadership depth, and that true sovereignty is not domination but service. September enters more quietly, the air cooling, the harvest gathering in. This is a month of reflection, of sorting and preparing, of putting things in their proper place. People born under September often carry this same energy within. They have sharp, discerning minds and a natural gift for order. They can turn confusion into clarity, chaos into structure, and they often excel where discipline and precision are needed. Yet the same clarity can become a burden when it hardens into perfectionism. They may grow too critical, both of themselves and others, fearing mistakes and struggling to rest in uncertainty. Their path is to loosen their grip on perfection and embrace the beauty of imperfection, to allow space for spontaneity, creativity, and the gentle grace of self-compassion. October arrives dressed in color, with golden leaves, glowing sunsets, and a deep sense of balance. It is a time when beauty and change meet. Those born here often carry the energy of the diplomat or the artist, people who see both sides, who long for harmony, and who know how to weave beauty into the fabric of daily life. They are natural peacemakers, the ones who bring people together, who create unity where division once lived. Many are romantics at heart, drawn to love, fairness, and connection. Yet their fear of conflict can become their weakness, for in seeking peace they may silence their own truth or accept less than they deserve. Their growth lies in learning that true harmony is not found in avoiding conflict, but in walking through it with honesty and courage, discovering deeper bonds on the other side. November comes cloaked in mystery. The days grow short, the world darkens, and the cycle of death and renewal whispers in the air. People born in this month often carry a depth that others can feel immediately, an intensity in their eyes, a quiet knowing in their presence. They live with the energy of transformation, the archetype of the alchemist. They are not afraid to face the shadows, in themselves or others, and they are often drawn to uncovering truths hidden beneath the surface. Their lives tend to move in cycles of endings and beginnings, each loss shaping them into something new. This path is not always easy. It requires surrender, pain, and the courage to keep walking through the unknown. But when they embrace their depth, they become healers, guides, and visionaries, capable of turning suffering into wisdom and darkness into light. December closes the circle. The nights are long, but fires are lit, songs are sung, and hope is carried into the new year. To be born in December is to carry the energy of endings and beginnings, of reflection and vision. These souls often hold the archetype of the sage, people who see the bigger picture and feel drawn to share their insights with others. They are often optimistic, idealistic, and full of faith in what the future can hold. They inspire those around them with their ability to see beyond the present moment. Yet their challenge lies in staying grounded. They may live too much in ideals or dreams, becoming restless when reality fails to match their vision. Their growth lies in anchoring their wisdom into the ordinary moments of life, not only teaching or dreaming, but living their truth in action. And so, from July's warmth to December's stillness, the year's second half becomes a symbolic mirror of the human soul. Each month carries its own rhythm, its own lesson, its own invitation to grow. Jung never meant these archetypes to be boxes that trap us. He saw them as keys, opening doors to deeper understanding. Your birth month does not decide your destiny, but it does offer a story, one that reflects your gifts, your shadows, and the themes that may quietly shape your journey. To see yourself through this lens is to realize that time itself speaks, and that your story is part of a larger rhythm, one that began the moment you entered this world and continues to unfold as you walk your path. Do you want me to expand each month here into a richer scene with metaphors and sensory detail, like describing a July evening or a November twilight, so that it feels almost like poetry or mythology? That would make the storytelling even more powerful for a video or narration. Imagine the year itself as a great story, a circle of light and shadow, growth and rest, beginning and ending. By the time July arrives, the tale has already gathered momentum. The world is bathed in long hours of daylight, laughter drifts from porches and open windows, and warmth lingers late into the evening. Those born in this time seem to carry that same warmth inside. They are natural nurturers, protectors of family, keepers of memory. Their presence can feel like a safe embrace, like the glow of a lantern in a storm. Yet just as July's generosity of light eventually asks the earth to rest, so too are these souls asked to remember themselves. Their story is one of balancing care for others with care for the self, so their giving does not burn them empty. August rises like a blaze of sun at its highest point. There is boldness in the air, a kind of regal radiance. Children shout in the streets, fields burst with life, and there is a sense that the world itself is standing tall. People born in this month often embody that same commanding energy. They shine, they lead, they draw others near. Their lives are shaped by the call to stand in their strength, to take up space without apology. Yet every throne has its test. If pride takes hold, their brilliance can turn into arrogance, leaving them isolated. Their journey is to learn that true power does not diminish others but raises them, that greatness is measured not in control but in generosity of spirit. When September comes, the air changes. The gold of harvest begins to glow, and the world turns toward balance. The chatter of summer softens into reflection. Those born now often feel this shift within their very being. They notice details others miss. They order and refine. They bring clarity to the chaos. Their gift is discernment, a wisdom that can gather scattered pieces into a whole. Yet in their quest for perfection, they may forget the beauty of imperfection. They may measure themselves by impossible standards, always striving, never resting. Their story is one of loosening that grip, of finding grace in the incomplete, and of learning that the cracks in the vessel are what let the light through. October arrives in color, a final burst before the fall of leaves. There is beauty everywhere, in the red of the trees, the balance of warm days and cool nights, the harmony of endings that still carry joy. Those born in this month often move like artists or diplomats, weaving beauty, fairness, and unity into the lives around them. They are seekers of balance, lovers of harmony, builders of bridges. But the price of their peacemaking can sometimes be silence, as they avoid conflict even when their soul longs to speak. Their task is to discover that true balance includes their own voice, that peace without truth is only a mask. Their growth lies in stepping into honesty, even when it disturbs the calm surface. November descends like a whisper in the dark. The days shorten, the air grows heavy, and the earth begins its long exhale. There is mystery in the mist, in the bare branches, in the sense that something unseen is stirring. People born in November carry this mystery within them. Their eyes often reflect depths that others cannot name, and their lives unfold in cycles of death and rebirth. They are drawn to transformation, to the hidden, to the truths others fear to touch. At times, this can feel like too much, an intensity that isolates them, or a weight of shadow they must carry alone. Yet their calling is to become alchemists, to turn pain into wisdom, endings into beginnings. In them lives the healer, the guide, the one who proves that even in darkness, light is born. December closes the circle, but not with silence, with fires, with songs, with a spirit of faith that looks toward a new year. The nights are longest, but hope burns brightest. Those born now often feel like visionaries, storytellers, sages. They dream beyond the present moment, seeing the larger picture, inspiring others with their optimism and belief in what is yet to come. Yet they may also live too high in the clouds, restless, forever chasing the horizon. Their task is to anchor their dreams, to plant them into the soil of daily life, so that what they envision becomes what they live. Their gift is to remind the world that endings are only beginnings, that every winter holds the promise of spring. And so the cycle turns, each month a chapter, each chapter a mirror of the soul. Jung believed that these times were not accidents, but imprints, symbolic melodies that play softly beneath our lives. Your birth month does not bind you, but it offers you a story. It whispers of gifts you carry, struggles you may face, and the deeper patterns that shape your journey. To see yourself in this way is to realize that time itself is alive, that the rhythm of the seasons is written into you, and that your life is part of a greater unfolding story, one that began the very moment you first entered the world.